What's up guys, Houndish here with Planet Destiny. Today I'm bringing you a guide on how to complete the challenge modes inside of the 390 King's Fall raid. In the War Priest encounter, you'll have to clear ads until the Yellow Bar Knights spawn, step on 3 plates in the order dictated by the glyph sequence so that the player on the final plate can obtain the brand of the Initiate, which allows the team to DPS the War Priest. In the challenge mode, a player may only hold the brand of the Initiate once, and this is the brand that you receive if you step on the last plate in the glyph sequence. If you've already had the brand, you cannot pick it up again. If you do this, it will cause you to fail the challenge mode. So what you need to do is simply have your 2 players on left, 2 on middle and 2 on the right. For round 1, have a designated player on each side jump on the plate during the first glyph sequence. When it comes to the second sequence, simply swap which player holds the plate on each side to avoid anybody holding the aura twice. This is of course the simple way to avoid having any issues with this challenge mode. A player can however hold a plate more than once as long as they do not get the aura more than once. So if you had the aura in the middle on the first round, but the middle is only the second plate in the sequence on the next round, you will be fine to hold the plate because you're not going to get the aura. I would imagine that a fair amount of teams will be able to two-face this, but if you end up on a third round where the final plate in the sequence has already been up twice, then a player from a different side can always jump across and take it. Overall, it's a fairly easy challenge once you're comfortable with the encounter in general. Up next we have Golgoroth. In this encounter, a player must take Golgoroth's Gaze to focus him, while the team shoot down a pool of reclaimed light from above and stand in it to do DPS. In order to complete the challenge mode, each player in the team must hold Golgoroth's Gaze once during each damage phase. To take Golgoroth's Gaze, you need to shoot him in his open back for critical damage, at which point he will focus on you and fire a stream of Axion darts which you need to either destroy or outrun. So once you've cleared the ads here, your first Gaze holder needs to take the Gaze as normal. Remember that you need some degree of good timing to drop the reclaimed light and take the Gaze at the same time so you can get as much DPS time as possible. You carry on and do DPS, but before the first player loses the Gaze, a second player must take it. The Gaze lasts around 20 seconds, so the first player needs to count down from around 10 as the Gaze is about to run out. If you're the player taking the Gaze second, the easiest thing to do is to move towards the right side here at around 8 seconds, quickly turn and shoot him in the back and wait for the third player to take the Gaze. Because the Gaze is being traded back and forth, it's best to number your players on each side. So have players 1, 3 and 5 on the left side and players 2, 4 and 6 on the right. As you can see from the last clip, number 1 has the Gaze while we're doing DPS. I'm number 2, so I head to the right where I can shoot Golgoroth's back. While I have the Gaze, Golgoroth will have his back to the left side, so number 3 will be able to grab it. When number 3 has it, Golgoroth will have his back to the right side, and so on. This is why the numbers and sides are important. Each player will need to take the Gaze until the 6th player has it. Once the 6th player has the Gaze, the easiest thing to do is to just loop around the outside of the room until the Gaze runs out. Alternatively, if you're more confident, you can drop other pools of light into the pit to do more damage as you trade the Gaze. However, the only requirement for challenge mode is that each player holds the Gaze every time the first player takes the Gaze to do DPS. You essentially cannot fail to capture Golgoroth's Gaze until at least every player has had it. Finally, for Oryx, as always, you will need a runner to grab the aura and the other players activating the plates. For Oryx challenge, instead of detonating corrupted light bombs on each round, you need to stack 4 bombs per platform to detonate a total of 16 bombs at the end of the fight. So while you're holding the plates, remember that ogres need to be killed immediately on spawn as they drop the corrupted light bombs. You'll also need to kill all of the knights without fail as they will otherwise destroy the bombs before you can use them for damage. Once all the ogres have been killed, you're going to want to DPS Oryx as normal and stun him, and after this you'll need to wait in the middle of the room until Oryx reclaims the power of the darkness. When Oryx reclaims the power of the darkness, he will spawn a darkness dimension and slowly teleport each player inside. You'll need to kill the shade of Oryx as quickly as possible while you're inside. Be aware that the shade can come into the bubble and slam with the sword, so you'll need to be careful here. Once the shade is down, you'll be teleported back to the main boss room, and then you repeat the process. You'll need to do a total of 4 rounds in order to spawn the 16 bombs that you need to damage Oryx. Your third shade of Oryx teleport will be the last one you need to do. After that, you can complete 1 more cycle of ogres and head back to the middle of the room. Oryx will slam the plate, and you need to shoot his chest as normal until he is stunned. After this, you take a moment to kill any remaining adds, and then each player who is holding a plate return to their last plate and detonate the bombs by standing inside of the corrupted light. You will need one additional player to destroy the bombs on the fourth plate, so decide who is going to do this in advance. You'll also want to count down to when the team can step into the bombs so that they detonate roughly at the same time. If all 16 are successfully detonated at once, Oryx's health will be completely destroyed. Bear in mind that the players in the middle during the bomb detonation need to shoot Oryx's chest to keep him vulnerable. At the very end, Oryx will appear at the front of the room once again, and you'll need to shoot his chest once more to finish him off, and that pretty much sums it up. These challenge modes are a little bit tricky and take a bit of communication, but there is definitely a robotic rhythm that you can get into once you're used to doing them. I hope this guide has been useful for any of you guys who wanted a refresh on these challenge modes. Let us know down in the comments how you guys are getting on in the King's Fall raid. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to check out my personal channel as well. But for now, thanks for watching and have an awesome day.